All right, we are going to start talking about graphing in standard form today, and I've got a series of steps for you. If I would like you to write these down somewhere, maybe in some notes or something, or at least just have them to reference. So I'm going to show this for a second, and then I'm going to scroll down so that you can see the back part of it, but I'm not going to stay on it, so if you would like to watch it, you're going to have to hit pause. So you're going to find the axis of symmetry with your equation negative b over 2a. You're going to plug that into your y value, and then you're going to create a table. Again, if you're interested in copying these down, go ahead and hit pause. Here's how this works. All right, so I've got this in standard form. So my first step is I need to find, oh my gosh. I need to write what A, B, and C are. So, in this case, since there's nothing in front of that x squared, it's a 1. B is going to be negative 6, and C is going to be 13. So, my axis of symmetry is found by taking the equation negative B over 2A. So, negative B, I have the negative from the equation, and then B was negative 6, this is what that's going to look like, over 2 times 1. Now, negative 6, that's going to give me a positive 6. And 2 times 1 is 2. 6 over 2, that's 3. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my axis of symmetry over here. So my origin, my axis of symmetry is at x equals 3. Now, we know that our vertex falls on the axis of symmetry. So we can plug in that 3 into our equation anywhere we see x to get the y value of our vertex. So we are going to take y equals 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 13. It's going to give me 9 minus 18 plus 13. Negative 9 plus 13. I think that gives me 4. So my vertex is at the point 3, 4. Here we have it right here. Now, you're going to pick 2 points to the right or to the left. It doesn't really matter. I always kind of end up picking to the right, but it doesn't really make a difference. And you're going to write them. So I'm going to pick 4 and 5. You could pick 0 and 1 or 1 and 2. You could pick really any 2, but they have to be on the same side of that axis of symmetry, and the closer you are to the axis of symmetry, the better. Because if you pick like negative 10, your number is probably not going to be on the axis, so that will be kind of easy. You're going to do just what we did before, and you're going to plug in that 4 into your equation. So, if x is 4, I'm going to have 4 squared minus 6 times 4 plus 13. That gives me 16 minus 24 plus 13, which is 5. I'm going to plot that point. So I've got a point at 4, 5. And then if I plug in 5, I'm going to have 5 squared minus 6 times 5 plus 13. That's going to give me 25 minus 30 plus 13. That will give me 8. And then a point also at 5, 8. Now, if you remember, your parabolas have an axis of symmetry. So it means that it's the same on both sides. So what I can do now, instead of plugging in 2 more points to get the other sides, I can simply reflect those points that I made across my axis. So this point here is 1 away. That means there's got to be 1 away on this side. Times 1 over. This one's 2 away. 2. I'm going to go 2 on the other side. So I've got a parabola. Drawing of a parabola. Let's do another example. All right. So step 1 in standard form. Find A, B, and C. Be careful with our negatives. So in this case, A is -1 this time, B is -2, and C is -4. We're going to plug that into the equation. Negative B over 2A, that's going to give me my axis symmetry. So in this case, I'm going to have negative, my B is -2 over A is 2 times -1. These two negatives together become a positive, and then 2 times -1 is -2. So 2 divided by -2, that's going to be -1. So I'm going to go ahead, draw my axis of symmetry at -1. Now I know that my vertex is on that axis of symmetry, so I'm going to take that -1 and plug it in for x. I need to be so careful about my negatives. I'm going to put that -1 in parentheses every time so I don't forget something. So I'm going to have -1 squared minus 2 times -1 minus 4. Now we've got to use our order of operations here, so I'm going to do this in a couple steps. This section here, this part that's in parentheses, -1 squared, that's going to give me a positive 1, right? Because this is saying -1 times -1. But there's another negative out there. So this is sort of like negative, and then in parentheses I came up with that was as 1. And then -2 times -1, that's going to be a positive 2 minus 4. And then this negative that's on the outside here, I'm just going to make that a -1. So even though there was a negative on the inside here, because there's still a negative on the outside, it ends up being negative. -1 plus 2 minus 4, that gives me -3. So I'm going to plot my vertex at -1, -3. And then I am going to pick 2 points to the right or to the left. They both have to be on the same side. You can't pick one to the right and one to the left. So I'm going to pick 0, I'm going to pick 1. I'm going to plug those into my equations. I like doing 0 if I can. -0 squared minus 2x, minus 2 times 0, minus 4. Those are going to cancel. I'm just going to have a -4. So I'm going to plot that. 0, -4. And if I plug in 1, being careful, -1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 4. That 1 squared becomes positive 1, but there's a negative on the outside, so it's going to be -1 minus 2 minus 4. That's going to give me -7. So I'm going to have another point at positive 1, -7. And then to get my other 2 points, I'm simply going to reflect those across my axis. So this one's 1 away, this one's 2 away. Get a parabola that looks like this. Now the next 2, this is pretty crazy. I am going to put these up a little bit. I'm going to give you the answers, and I would like you to try them and see if you can figure them out. The only thing that is different, when you go to plug in a number this time, you have to make sure you multiply your x squared by 2 when you go. So I guess I'll start this one. A is 2, B is 12, C is 21. So I'm going to take -b over 2a. That's going to give me -12 over 2 times 2, which is -12 over 4, which is -3. Here's what I was talking about with that. When I got to plug this into my equation, I'll do that up here. Y equals 2 times -3 squared plus 12x plus 21. That, when I do this part right here, I have to apply order of operations. So I have to do my exponent before I do my multiplication. This is going to become 2 times 9, which is 18. Oops, this should be a -3 too. 18 minus 36 plus 21. Now I'm going to hit pause here. I'm going to give you the answer, and I would like you to see if you can match it. If you can't match it, now's a good time to ask for help. Here's what I'm getting for answers for these. If you are not getting this, go ahead and raise your hand so that I can help you. there's a couple of things on this here. I am going to kind of go through this, but I'm going to spend some time going through it on Monday. So you're going to graph this, but I want you to recognize that there's a value missing. It goes straight from A to C. So when I go to graph this, I'm going to have A as -5, B is 0, C is 50. To get my axis of symmetry, I'm going to take -0 over 2 times -5, which we know that 0 over anything is 0. So if I were to draw an axis here, my axis of symmetry is going to fall at 0. Then if I plug that in, plug in 0 and I get y equals -5, 0 squared plus 50. That cancels and gives me 50. So call that by tens. My vertex is going to be there. And when I plug in more points, 5 times 1 squared plus 50 is -5 plus 50. That's 45. So it's going to be like this. And 2. That's going to be -20 plus 50. Oops. -5 times 4, -20, so that's going to be -30, which doesn't really make sense because this isn't going to fall to the underground here. So I'm going to just kind of draw it in that direction, and then I'm going to stop at my x-axis. So I'm going to have something that looks like this. But then, since I can't go underground, I'm going to end it here. Now, domain and range. If domain is time, we know that there's some restrictions on time. We cannot have negative time. So, x has to be greater than or equal to 0. And it also has to be less than 2. We don't know exactly the number. I haven't taught you how to do that yet. But if I go 2, it's already going to be all the way down here. So that's not going to work. This is because I'm talking about time. Now, height. The glasses, which is my range. The glasses aren't going to get higher than where they fell from. They fell from 50 feet. So why does that be less than 50? Because it's not plunging to the center of the universe. It needs to be greater than or equal to 0. And the last thing, how long did it take for the glasses to reach the ground? It took probably about 1.5 seconds. Because the ground is your x-axis. So it took a little less than 2 seconds.